Hey everybody, it's Alison Sullivan with Stamp Crazy with Alison, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada, which is just outside of Vancouver on the West Coast. So welcome, glad you could join me today. If you're a first timer, let me know where you're from. I'm going to just make sure that I am broadcasting, so I just go over to my other screens and make sure that I can see that I am, and I am. And I'm just going to nip over here and make sure on my other screen that I am, my sound is good. So yeah, and it is. Hi Keisha, how are you today? Nice to see ya. We're going to get started soon. But you're always my first. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming. I've got a cold sore. Can you see that? Isn't that awful? I haven't had a cold sore in, 3 years. I think I was a bit stressed this month. Crappy day, but happy now in here with you. Oh, I'm sorry you've had a crappy day. I hate that. And but I'm glad you came, and so I hope I can turn your day around. We will. It might be just you and me, kid. Oh no, we've got Barbara. Thank you, Barbara. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. I've had oh, hi Cynthia from New Jersey. How are ya? Wonder what it's like. What's it like where you guys are? It's nice and sunny and warm in Vancouver. It's about, I think it's going to go up to 26 degrees today, which is, I was doing the math, 80, 84, something like that. So pretty nice for September. Hi, Jacqueline. How are you, hon? Nice to see ya. Okay, so what are we going to be playing with today? Let's have a look. We're going to be playing with Fond of Autumn. Now, some people say autumn and some people say fall. I'm trying to think. I think I'm a bit influenced now because I know a lot of people say autumn, but I'm pretty sure that I always said fall in Canada, and that was because that's when the leaves fell down. We're kind of like more obvious, eh? It is beautiful on the island. It's just beautiful here. 88 in New Jersey. Ooh. Yeah, it cools off at night, thank goodness, Cynthia. Because most of us on the west coast of Canada do not have air conditioners. It's not something we have. So sometimes we feel the heat. All right, let's go over and have a look. So here is our Fond of Autumn. Love, 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 love this bundle. So we've got the stamp set, and then it's also got the dies. And what I really love about this set, I see that light's shining on it, and it shouldn't be because there we go. That's better. So see this one here. The other day we did a card using this, right? Let me grab that card to show you. So here we are. We used, oops, help if I have it the right side up. So we had this card that we made live. And can you see that I've got this section of that stamp and then this section? And the die, you stamp it as one piece, like one image, but then the outline die cuts them out, and you can put them back together, or you can use this one, and these two as 4 separate stamps, which is really cool. I'm just looking over here, 17 and down to 3. So Barbara, where are you? You must be in Canada if you're using 17, I would think. Hi Mo, how are you? Anyway, that's what we're going to use. Now, I'm not going to be using the dies today. I'm going to set those aside, but I just wanted to make sure you knew that. And I told you guys this the other day in my last video where we made that pretty card, that this is the bundle that Patsy Waggoner, who's my U.S. border buddy, she's in Minnesota. Her and I have a program every month where we create a PDF tutorial that we give away free to our customers. So any value purchase from our online stores, and you can find that every time I do a live, I always have that information in the description, so you can find our links there. But what we do is we provide a PDF, and it's got all the supplies with the numbers so you can find them easily. And then we've got the cards that we've created, okay, and with the measurements and then the step-by-step. Okay, so every month it's 6 different cards, and you get that free when you make a purchase in our store, and it's any value, so that's cool. Okay, so today, like I said, we're going to use Fond of Autumn. So let me grab some supplies here. I've got a background here of soft succulent, which is really nice for the fall, don't you think? Or if you're somewhere where you say autumn, I say fall. I'm just trying to get my lighting pretty better here, you guys, and it's, you know, it's kind of goofy. Let me see if I can add some light over there. Well, that might help. Sometimes when I look at one screen, it doesn't look very good, but on another screen, it's fine. Hi, Valerie. Oh, Sparwood. Yeah, I know where Sparwood is. The interior. Thanks, Barb, for letting me know. Okay, so we've got soft succulent. Now that's just your standard card size, right? That's your 8.5 by 11, and then we've cut it in half at 5.5. We've scored it at 4 1/4, and that's just created our A2 card. Okay, pretty standard. I also have soft, let's see, soft suede. Now I've cut this one down to just be a 1/8 of an inch larger than my stamped piece. Now, my stamped piece is 3 3/4 by 5. So then that means this one is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, so just wanted a nice little border on it, and then that's going to be mounted on there. Okay, so that's the basics. So let's get started because we're going to do a few techniques today. So I've got my basic white here. Now, what I want to do first is I want to grab these dies. These are called Beautiful Shapes dies. Have you guys got these or used these? I love them. I'm going to be using the large, I was going to say it's hexagon, but it's not. I'm going to use a large, this image. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of that size. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to create a mask that I'm going to stamp inside. It's called reverse masking. I haven't done it in a while. So I'm going to grab a piece of the masking paper. Have you guys used the masking paper? It's on sale this week in the weekly deals. I think today's the last day. So add it to an order if you're putting an order in today. So the Stampin' Up! Masking paper. You get 12 sheets, and they are, let's see, 5 by 7. So 5 by 7, you get 12 of them. So that's lots. So I've cut this one down to be the same size. So 3 3/4 by 5. Okay. Now I'm going to grab my little shape here. Oh, sorry. I've got the post-nasal drip for some reason. Sorry, guys. I'll try not to sniff. I'm going to take a piece of repositionable tape because I don't want it to move. Okay, so I'm just going to line that up like so. Put my tape down. I want it just to maybe be a little bit lower. Let me just look down on this piece instead of sideways, or it's too far ahead of me. I just want to make sure I've got it positioned where I would like, and I think that is where I would like it. And then I just want to make sure it's straight, and that looks pretty straight. I mean, you have to kind of use your judgment there. Okay, now I'm going to use the regular size Stampin' Cut and Emboss, so the full size. And here's the sandwich. We've got plate 1. We've got plate 2 because we need that for any dies. We've got a clear plate. We've got our masking paper, our die, and our clear plate. And I just noticed that while it's straight on the page, it's not centered. So let's make sure we've got it relatively centered. I mean, if it's off by a bit, it's just eyesight, right? Okay, so I'm just going to run this through. Let me get Sini over here. Here I am. And here I go. Okay. All right, so let's bring this back in. And there is our cut piece. Now we'll just refocus on that. So I'm finished with this, and you can see that it's cut out the shape from the masking paper. What I love about this masking paper is that it's really, really light. And so it's really great when you're going to mask something because you don't tend to get those ridges. I don't know how I explain it. It's almost like a halo, right? So you stamp if you're using just regular paper as a mask. Sometimes where it's up against the edge, it can halo out and you don't get a good crisp image. Okay, so now what I want to do is bring in my piece of cardstock because that's what I'm going to be stamping on, my basic white. Now with this masking paper, my tip is don't press it down like, you know, too tight or too hard because sometimes you won't get it off. So I'm going to show you a tip. We're going to take the backing off. I love this. It's split. Can you see that that's split? So when you peel it off, which is really great, you don't have to take the whole thing off. Now what I want to do is, you can't see this because I'll be off camera, but on my pants, I'm just going to press that glued part against my clothing just to kind of stick it a little bit. I don't want it quite as sticky. Okay, and then I can line this up. So I've cut this the same size because I just find that's a bit easier for me anyway. Let me bring this closer so I can. And when I do just half at a time, it's a lot easier to line it up. So now what I want to do is peel this side off. And again, I'm just going to take it off camera and just stick it on my pants. Okay, so just kind of get that stickiness a little bit less because I don't want it to. Hopefully that will work. If not, we'll just start again. Now, another tip when I'm doing this kind of, it's called reverse masking. Hi, Donna. How are you? Oh, hi, Kathy. Welcome. Yeah, the masking paper is super. Kathy, I saw that you tried to join my VIP group on my Facebook, which is my Stamp Crazy with Alison Hangout. It's for people who make a purchase. However, hopefully you got a link to the Border Buddy Hangout that you are most welcome to join. Okay, so what I've done, you guys, is I've grabbed my Stamparatus, which I love. Who doesn't love their Stamparatus? Okay. Now I want to put, if you put a stamp case under here, it gives you a surface where you can ink up your image really easily. Okay. So what I did is, before you guys join me, is I figured out where I wanted this to stamp. Okay. And how I wanted it to stamp. So I think that looks good. Yeah, I think that looks good. I might just lower a titch because, you know, every time you cut it, this might be just slightly lower than my original one, right? I think that looks good. Now, the reason I'm using my Stamparatus is because if I don't get the image stamped nicely the first time, I can just re-ink it and keep going until it's good. Oh, I'm glad you're well, Donna. I'm good too. Although I was saying earlier that for the first time in like 3 years, I had a cold sore. And I think it's because I had a bit of a stressful month. I had my daughter was here and then we all got sick. So that was stressful. And then my poor dog developed some sort of, I don't know, mass. So we had to have an operation. So that was a bit stressful. There was something else that happened, but I'm choosing to just look at the positive. Everybody's good now. So that's good. So can you see, you guys, that it's not as good as I wanted, right? And if I had just used my stamp with an acrylic block, it would be really hard to line that up. But because I'm using my Stamparatus, I can just go back in and just really add some ink and then really give it a nice press in those areas that didn't come out very well. And sometimes when you're using a mask, you have to do this, you know, 2 or 3 times, just because it's going to miss some things, just because of the amount of pressure you can put on it. So I'm just going to do one more, and I think that'll work. I want to kind of get that little flower done, and I want to get this leaf a little bit better. So it's sort of around here, and then that flower. Let's have a look. Oh, that looks great. I think that looks good. Maybe just a titch there. I don't know. I'm probably being too picky. Now, this technique, as I mentioned, is called reverse masking. You know, when we usually do a mask, we stamp an image and then we make a mask of that image, and then we stick the mask on top, and then we do things around it so that it becomes this focal point. This is the exact opposite. So instead of creating a mask where we are covering the rest of the paper, and what we're going to see when we take the mask off is that center area. Okay, so now we can go ahead and take this off. I can close that up. If you haven't used your Stamparatus, it's awesome. Like, if you don't have one, get one. And if you've got one, haul it out, because I don't use it as much as I ought to. Yeah, it was quite the 3 weeks, Valerie. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so we've got some Stampin' Right markers here. I've got dark mint macron. I've got dark soft sea foam. I've got light crumb cake, light soft suede, and then I've got the 2 petal pinks, light and dark. Okay, so I'm not going to remove my mask yet. You'll see why in a minute. So let's grab that light pink, and I'm just going to add a bit of pink to the middle of my big leaves here, which you wouldn't think you'd want pink, would you? But trust me, it's going to look really cute. So then I'm going to take my dark soft sea foam, and I'm going to add it to my leaves. So I've got that pretty pink in the middle. And you see, by leaving my mask on, it'll make it so that I don't go over the edges, because I want a really crisp edge. You'll see why in a minute. We'll see. It will all become obvious in a minute. Okay, so there's some of my leaves. And since I've got this one out, I think I'll just go in and color in my rest of my leaves. See, that one you can't really see, but this is what I want to color. That's actually going to be outside of the mask area. So this allows me to go right to that edge, which is really great. As long as my mask comes off. Of course, it works every time. And I'm just going to be positive and say it's going to work today. Okay, I think that's all my green. Yeah, I think so. I am going to take that dark macron and just add a little bit of detail to the center of those, and maybe just a little bit, just shade it a little bit, right? And then I'll go back over that with my light pink. That's what I'll use to blend it. There we go. Okay, now let's do some flowers. I've got the dark petal pink. Let's just go in, and I'm going to just use those highlighted areas from the artist. I'm not going to try and do anything fancy. And then I've got the light one. We're just going to go over it like so. Like I said, right up to the edge. It's so great. My center little, I don't know what you call this, but the center of my flower, I'm going to use the soft suede. Okay. And then in the very center, I'm going to blend that all in with a light crumb cake. Okay. So that's that. Now let's do these acorns. So at the top of the acorn, I'm going to just use soft suede. Okay. Go. And that's the top. Okay, and then we're going to just add a little bit again to those areas of the stamp that the wonderful artists have made easy for us to color. Just going to go over in the crumb cake for the bottom of our acorn and the edge of that little, it's not really a berry, it's almost like, it's like a seed pod, right? And I'll just add some to these little stems, and I think that's good. I'm going to leave these squiggly images because I think to color them will just kind of make them pop out where I don't want them to. While I'm here, I'm going to just go over some of my little images with my Wink Estella, which you guys know I'm crazy about. Just gonna go. So hopefully you can see that. Now we're going to carefully peel this off. Now, if you do it, if you're lucky, you can reuse this. But you have to be careful how you're peeling it off, okay? So you can see I didn't press too hard, and that's why it's working. Now, what is that? Is that a leaf? Yeah, that's a leaf. I'm going to stick that back on and make sure I get that leaf. Okay. That's what I love about the masking paper. Isn't it awesome? Look at this. Awesome. Okay. Now, that came off beautifully. It doesn't always come off beautifully. So while I've got it, I'm going to grab the backing that I took off earlier. I might have that on the wrong side. There we go. Take that and reapply it. And this might be from another piece, but gets most of it here for what I want. Okay, there we go. All right, so then I can keep that, and I can actually just put it in my case, right? And then the next time I want to use it for this, now I could use a different stamp set, obviously, but if I wanted to use it for this stamp set, oops, I can save my little mask, and I'll be ready to go, oops, the next time. So there we go. I like it better than using a piece of cardstock, just because it stays in place and it's a lot easier to use. Now that I've removed that, I am going to add some color to those. I said I wasn't, but these little spirals, I'm going to just add a little bit of color to them. Not all of them, but just some of it. Not all of it. There we go. I think that looks good. And I think that's a bit of a leaf. There we go. Okay, so let me show you that. There we go. That's the look I was going for. So that's called reverse masking, because you've made a little area where you're going to stamp, and when you remove it, it just looks like it's sitting there. And it honestly, in person, looks a bit like designer series paper. You kind of want to go, oh, that's not designer series paper, that's stamped. So it's a really fun technique and really simple to do. Okay, now I've got a little piece of the soft succulent. I think this is a 1/2 inch by 3.5. And I'm going to grab tweezers that come with the embossing kit. Actually, I won't put that on right now because it'll stick up. I'm going to grab the embossing buddy, and let's just do that. I'm going to use copper. Copper is very complementary to the soft suede. At least I think so. And then we've got the Versamark. Okay. My puppy is going to be okay, Keisha. He is old. He is a lab, a yellow lab, sorry. And he is 14 years old. And you worry, don't you? Like, I know you've got 2 pups, and you worry that, oh gosh, can he survive the surgery? And he came through it amazingly. The vet was like, couldn't believe it. He said, you know, if this was a 14-year-old Yorkshire Terrier, I wouldn't worry. But 14-year-old yellow lab, 92-pound dog, boy, you know, pushing our luck. But he was brilliant. He came through it brilliantly, and he's feeling so much better. And we're happy that we were able to do that for him. You know, who knows what tomorrow brings, but I wanted to give him a chance. And we were able to do that. So pretty happy about that. Okay. Let's just do that. So that was copper, right, that we used in our embossing. Just going to do that. So he's his old, slow self. He doesn't move quickly. Let's put it that way. So here's my little saying. Now, I'm looking at this. Yeah, I like it. This is based on a card that my friend sent me, and I'm going to show it to you in a little bit so you can see that I just changed the stamp set. But I really loved what she had done. So I'm going to use that like so. And I think I'm just going to glue it down. Okay. Let's glue that down. Oh, I forgot. I knew what the third thing was. My son, who does as a fun activity, doesn't do this for a living, but as a fun activity, he does motocross, or what do you call it, dirt bikes. It's turned into his little bit of a passion for him. And he landed awkwardly last weekend, and he broke his baby toe, and he needed stitches. Do you know where your toe meets your foot? Just in that crease, he had to get 8 stitches there. So I forgot. That's the other thing that happened. So I said, when that happened, well, that's it. Because is anybody Scottish and had a superstitious mother? She used to say everything happens in 3s. So that's the third thing. COVID, the dog, and my son. There you go. We're good. Yeah. And it went right through his boot, which seems weird, doesn't it? You know, they wear those quite hot, knee-high boots. Okay, see this linen thread? I learned a trick today, or you probably already know it. I just dragged my fingernail along it to flatten it out. Because, when it's on this spool, it's all, look at this, it's all like curly-cued. I didn't want that because I'm going to typo. So let's do that. And before I put all my little bits on, your mom used to always say that. My mom was Scottish, and she was so superstitious, you guys. Everything had a meaning. Everything had a reason. Okay, here's an example. One time she was in the line to go to, I think it was Toronto from Vancouver. So we're standing in, this is before you had the kiosk where you could check yourself in, right? So we're in the line, and she says to me, I have to get out of this line. Now, we had been in this line for about 15 minutes. And I said, why do you have to get out of this line? And she said, because it's line number, the line number is 13. I cannot be in a line that is number 13. I said, well, we can't get out of this line. It's you'll be, it'll take another 20 minutes if we move. We're not moving. And I said, Mom, what's going to happen? There's a lot of people that are in this line. Oh, she says, okay. Well, I swear, the plane blew a tire on takeoff, hit something, and had to land. They weren't sure what was going to happen. It didn't blow a tire, but they weren't sure about the tire. That was it. And so they didn't have to do like brace, but it was, and my mom said to me later, see, I told you. It's because I was in line 13, and I told her that she didn't have that much power over the universe. But I just thought, I should have listened to her. Should have got out of line. Not just Scottish, Wendy? Wendy is in my friend who follows me in Wales. Yeah, it's probably a British thing or a UK thing, not British. My mom would say she was Scottish more than she was British. Okay, so let's grab a glue dot. Now these are these fantastic paper pumpkin ones. I love these because they're flat, you guys. So it makes it so easy, right, to do. So let's stick that on. just where my acorns are. Now, some people that might bother them to have that extra, but I did that on purpose. Okay. Now, let's grab, oh my gosh, somebody tell me the name of these. I don't have the paper. Metallic, I'm going to say metallic dots. I don't know. So we've got kind of brush gold, then we have gold, and then we have, it's more like, well, it's not really a pewter. And then we have the copper. Remember we used the copper embossing powder? So let's use the copper. Little metallic dots. Let's just do this and put that down there. There we go. So really a simple looking card, but in person it does look like designer series paper, even though it's just one layer. I'm sure you guys have tried that before. Have you, with the reverse masking? So there's one card I did, and then here's the other one. So instead of putting that across, I actually embossed thank you on it. So a little bit different look. And then the card that my friend sent me, let me grab it and I'll show you. I didn't have the stamp set that Lisa used, so I used a different one. But here's her card. So you can see I just cased that card. She used a round image and I used the shape here, whose name escapes me. It's not a hexagon because it's only 6 sides. I need my sister, the mathematician, literally, she has a math degree, to tell me what it's called. Mo, what is that shape called? I'm going to say it's 6, so that's usually 6. So I don't know. She'll tell me. Hexagon? No, it's not a hexagon. What am I trying to say? It's like, I don't know. Sometimes my brain just escapes me. I'm not sure. So that's the 2 type. Did your family get to see the Queen's Procession? I believe my cousins. I didn't ask them yet, Keisha. I believe because they live in Aberdeen, and that's whatever it is. What is it? 45 minutes from Balmoral. And so the procession came back through, right? And so that's where they would have seen it. I don't think they would have made the trip into Edinburgh for that. But I didn't get a chance to ask them if they got out into Aberdeenshire there and Aberdeen and looked. I'm not sure. I keep forgetting to ask them. Okay. It is a hexagon even though it's only 6-sided. Oh, that would, right. It's a hexagon. Duh. 7 is a heptagon and 8 is a octagon. Oh, Kathy, thank you. You know, thank you, Eleanor. Boy, that was like brain freeze, wasn't it? Huh. Anyway, thank you guys. I think I was just doubting myself about, the hexagon, of course. Thank you guys. Oh, you're all helping me here. Thank you. Yes, definitely try this technique if you haven't tried it. So many shapes you can use. I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice with maybe the tailored tags, right? Because it would look like a tag, but it really would be flat. So there you go. Thank you, whoever said beautiful card, because now I'm over on StreamYard. I can never see anything on StreamYard. So Facebook user, thank you, whoever that was. Yeah, my other comments haven't caught up. Drives me nuts. Okay. Brush metallic dots. Thank you, Mo. See, you guys are so good at rescuing me. Appreciate it. Yes, Eleanor, you tried. I'm sure you've tried it. Okay, never used that technique, Kathy. Give it a whirl. See how easy it is? Of course, you guys, you'll be able to watch the replay, right? Okay, I think I've got everybody. I've answered everybody's comments and we're good. Yeah. So I will see you guys back here on Sunday at 10 o'clock. And look, I'm in the dark because I turned off my light because the light was a bit bright. There we go. So I'll see you guys on Sunday at 10 a.m. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing. Make sure you check out the deals of the week on Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. Mountain Time to 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. You can actually choose from last week's or current week's deals and next week. So instead of just 1 week to choose from, you get a double dose today, only on Wednesdays. But the masking paper is in the current week, so you want to order that before midnight tonight. You're welcome, you guys. I will take care. Thank you guys. You all take care. You all have a wonderful rest of the week, and I hope you get in some creative time, and I'll see you guys back here on Sunday. Thanks so much, you guys. Bye for now.